that measures oxygen. We have a forward-looking sonar that sends out sound and measures time of flight so we can see what's in front of us without visually seeing it. What other sensors do we have on there? Depth sensor. I believe there's a depth sensor, which is actually a pressure sensor. I believe we have a DVL, a Doppler velocimetry logger, which is a system that acoustically measures your speed over the ground. And what else do we have? Oh, I think that's about it.
We have a camera.
No,
That's
this
a
system doesn't have a BS detector, which I'm really happy about because usually I set that thing off regularly.
Hello, everybody.
Teru is back.
Hello, Teru. Welcome back.
Thank you. Have I missed anything?
Well, we've been lost without you.
I assumed so.
Of course.
No, I just had a interaction with some middle schoolers who are studying robotics.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Nice.
so unfortunately, everybody was busy with the ROV stuff. But I said if they want to tune in another time or watch the live or send questions through, we can get some more expert advice to them about what they're studying. But I gave them a quick overview of the ship and what we do and what you all were doing in here.
Cool. There's you know, the fact that middle schoolers get to study robotics. It's like that was not an option when I was in middle school, but it's totally an option now. The Ocean Exploration Cooperative Institute sponsors a robotics competition called Sea Perch, which is by, shucks, what's the name of the group that does it? I can't remember it, but I'll update you. But the middle schoolers get this kit to make an ROV, then they can customize it, and then they do a course, like an obstacle course in a swimming pool that's based on the type of work we're doing for ocean exploration. Like they'll have to go sample coral, and not a real coral, but something that represents a coral, and move it to another place. And it's really cool. The competition is global.
What's that called again, sorry?
Sea Perch.
Okay.
And
Is that the one put on by
there's
Robot
an
Nation?
international kind of final competition in Maryland every year that we're at and give awards and prizes at. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. We didn't have anything like that when I was at school either. We didn't even have like marine biology.
Yeah.
It was math, English,
Science.
bio, or science even, not even really split into different.
But in different years, did you do like biology, physics, chemistry, or anything like that, or just all in one?
I think it was all in one until I got to year 11, year 12, and year 13. Then we got to split out, and yeah. But that Sea Perch reminds me of, I think there's a competition each year called First Global, I think, a robotics thing, and we've just recently in the last few years have started having Cook Islands students participate, and we've got a group called the Cocoa Bots, and I was hoping to do a web interaction with them today or with a ROV expert hopefully, but I don't know if they've signed up yet, so maybe another day.
I heard the Cocoa Bots have done pretty well in international competition.
Yeah, they have. They did really well last year, I think.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's a great name also.
Yeah, it is.
I think, Aaron, did you say something about robotics competition? I couldn't quite hear you.
Sea Perch, I think it's Robot Nation that puts that on.
Oh
is
yeah,
that right?
RoboNation, yeah. They also do a Robo Sub and a Robo Boat competition for like different levels. yeah, it's cool.
How many questions, did you guys get through the questions while I was gone?
For the most part.
I can see someone said they were watching in from the Bahamas earlier and enjoying the banter, and I'm not sure, but I hope it was my friend Lindy from my master's. I sent him the link on Instagram
Oh, nice.
to watch us live. So he's a marine scientist as well. I think he might work for the Bahamas National Trust. Yeah, hope it was you, Lindy.
There's a Bahamas Institute of Ocean Science that I know a lot of people go down there to do kind of equipment testing and other types of research. BIOS, it's called.
We have a shout out to...
Isn't that Bermuda, Adam?
You're right, that's Bermuda. Listen,
you're fired.
Hey, the contract says no correcting me.
Adam, what's your headset back?
Yeah, shout out for Aaron from your family watching from Escondido. Hello and best of luck with the camera. And does the camera have a name?
Ooh.
Does it have a name? No,
Like a fun name.
We didn't name the camera as far as I know, at least not one that I'm aware of. It could be that my team calls it something, but it's actually been a pretty reliable system for us so far. We've had very few major issues with it, but a lot of that goes to it being the kind of third system that we've built. So yeah, it's just the MXD.
Should we come up with a name?
I suppose I should.
Or should we
MXD
ask
actually
viewers?
does mean something.
What does it mean?
Yeah. So it's actually a tribute to the collaboration between Bari and Deep Sea. So that's what the M, the X, and the D is. It's an acronym of acronyms. I forget there's a word for that too, but yeah, that's how it got its name, was an homage to the collaboration between the organizations that designed and built it.
Acronym of acronyms. That's pretty good.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
That's not what you were saying before. No. Did you get to these questions from Maddie?
Yes.
Yes. Okay,
Yes.
great. In that case, does Little Herc have lasers like the Hercules?
Ooh, it does. And when we get to the seafloor and turn those on, folks will see oh, we can see them now.
Oh, cool.
When we're down on the seafloor, you'll end up seeing that as 2 laser dots, and those dots will be separated by 10 centimeters if we're perfectly incident to the surface that they're illuminating, and that helps us get a sense of scale, see how big things are.
Yeah, so the 2 lasers are spaced 10 centimeters apart on their mounts, and they're aligned to be very parallel, so that wherever those dots hit, they're hitting 10 centimeters apart as long as it's incident to the plane of the lasers.
And for imperialists, that's about 4 inches, or the width of your palm.
How many furlongs is that?
Oh,
Or fathoms? Is that what
Fathoms.
fathoms was 2 meters? So that is 0.05 fathoms.
So just as an update, we're now at 3,800 meters.
Woo!
In fathoms now, Adam, go.
Yeah. 1,900 fathoms.
I have a feeling we may be handing over watch as we hit the sea floor this time again.
Not if we lock the door.
I think we're looking at about half an hour to bottom at this point.
Half an hour.
Yeah.
oh, we got some
Sort of.
time.
Okay,
we got some time.
All right.
29 minutes.
Okay.
Well, we do stop at several meters above the seafloor. We do some vehicle checkouts and stuff there before we proceed to the bottom nice and slow, so it might be a little bit longer than that, but we should see
We
something
don't
around
have
that.
time.
I'll put a sign on the outside of the hatch that says closed for remodeling or something under new ownership.
Have Have you guys continued with the spelling bee while I've been gone?
We've identified some words that will go into the hopper for the spelling bee. Zeitgeist, and I can't remember what else came into it.
I'm not sure if you saw this comment while I was gone, but somebody said Z in German is always pronounced like T's, or TS, by the way. So Zeitgeist sounds like Zeitgeist.
Yeah.
What's the shortest focus distance at max zoom on the new camera?
Oh, we've got somebody
There
who
we
really
go.
is asking good technical
What's the
questions
circle
now.
of confusion at F8? All right, go ahead.
So, at full tele, there is a point in front of the camera that we refer to as the minimum object distance, and that is how close can you have an object to the camera and get sharp focus on it. For this camera, that
Wait,
is...
let's guess.
Oh, you're welcome to guess. So at full tele, what do you think MOD is, or minimum object
From
distance?
the front of the camera.
From the front of the camera.
1.25 meters.
You're
Halfway.
pretty far from the actual number.
I think 12 centimeters.
It's closer,
Oh,
but it's a little too close.
okay.
25 centimeters.
It's closer. We're getting real warm. So it's around, what, do you want to...
15? 15?
Or double that, and you're about there.
30.
Oh, okay, 30.
Yeah. So it's around 34 centimeters is the minimum object distance, or MOD, for this optical system underwater at full tele. Yep.
Wow.
At full wide, it pretty much can see at the surface of the dome.
Wow.
But depth of field is significantly larger at the wide end of the zoom range.
Depth of field referring to how much of the shot is in focus and at different distances from the camera. And you can actually measure depth of field in a distance,
Okay.
or compute it at least.
Very cool.
Somebody had sent in a guess 1/2 meter, so they were pretty close.
That's pretty close.
Yeah. Lisa also said she agrees with us. Lock the door and pretend we don't hear anybody knocking.
I guess that's what Lisa does.
Yeah.
So one of the other ways that we talk about the zoom and minimum object distance is something called the object height. And that's a little bit different, but it's basically how tall is the, from the bottom of the image to the top of the image at the minimum object distance. So for the maximum zoom on this camera, that's about 15x without the doubler. That object height, I believe, is around 24 millimeters. So you're seeing about an inch height at the minimum object distance at full tele.
Okay.
No, that might be with the doubler. That might be with the doubler. It's closer to 40. But it's something like that, where you're only looking at a very small area when you're completely zoomed in with this camera. So it's almost like a microscope at those distances.
But
They're really getting in close.
the camera has to serve two primary functions here. One is, of course, imaging the geology and the organisms, but the other is for the pilots to fly the ROV. So we need a wide field of view for the flying. So we need to be able to zoom out and give them a good perspective on their surroundings. So yeah.
It's one of the other unique features of this camera is that it has a very wide image at the wide end of its zoom range. We're seeing about a 90-degree horizontal field of view. But when we push that all the way to the tele limits and drop in the doubler, that angle drops to about 3.5 degrees. And the reason that we're able to get such a wide range in there, even though it's only a 15x zoom lens, is because we actually have a mechanical switch in there that drops in a magnifying lens almost in the path of the Canon zoom lens that's inside, and it's a common feature in a lot of broadcast camera lenses, but we've connected it to a linear actuator that we could control from the console that Ed has in front of him. By pressing a button, he can drop in that optical doubler and extend that telephoto range by 2x, so we're able to get a full 30x
Probably
zoom out of the system.
Or at least now see the change in the light pool.
Oh, yeah.
So now I'm just seeing
And
doubled how far I'm zoomed
Aaron
in.
and Mikhail, when you are collecting a still image, is that a single frame from the video, or is it a fully separate kind of data stream?
So there's two features of this camera that allow you to pull really nice still frames from it. So yes, when we pull a still from this camera, we're talking about capturing a single video frame. But there's two key features here that allow us to do that. One is that it's very high resolution. So this is 4 times HD resolution. Technically, it's a standard called UHD, or ultra high definition. It's different than 4K, but I won't get into the nitty-gritty of that. But essentially, this is 4 times high definition. So it has enough pixel information to produce a decent-sized still capture frame. Similar to not maybe cell phones that you would buy today, but cell phone from 5-6 years ago. And the other feature that it has is that the type of sensors in this camera are called global shutter sensors. So what's happening with this one, it's unlike most cameras that you interact with day to day, is that every single pixel is being illuminated and the information captured from those pixels at the exact same instant in time. Most cameras that we're used to working with use something called a progressive scan or rolling shutter. Yeah, sorry, not progressive scan. That's something different. Rolling shutter. You may have seen some of these images online before where like the rotors of a helicopter or a fan kind of look distorted and unrealistic. Yeah, jello-y. And that's because they're using a rolling shutter. So basically, the top line of video is exposed and read out, and then the next line is exposed and read out, and the next line is exposed and read out. And they're staggered that way in time. But the way that this sensor works, it's a global shutter sensor, and this goes back to something that Ed was mentioning earlier too, is that it has very precise temporal resolution. So at 60 frames per second, we're capturing the exact scene that the camera saw at that single point in time. So the image that we see on the screen is much more like what you would get out of a stills camera in that respect. So those two features are key there, the global shutter and the high resolution.
So is the global shutter replacing, do you think, eventually mechanical shutters? Because I still like, say, when I'm taking still images from a drone, a mechanical shutter, because you get that frozen, motion.
It's usually when we're talking about mechanical shutters, we're looking at stills cameras, like DSLR type cameras and things like that, like photographic cameras, not video cameras. Most video cameras use technically an electronic shutter, which the timing and everything for the exposure period for each pixel is controlled electronically.
Yeah.
But the key difference between a rolling shutter and a global shutter is that the global shutter is capturing every pixel at the same instant and freezing that information to offload it. And the rolling shutter is starting usually at the top of the frame and kind of working its way down the sensor, reading out one line at a time, very quickly still, but still there's some delay between when the top of the image is exposed and the bottom of the frame is exposed.
But in terms of like, a digital shutter, I guess, or electronic, just means less moving parts, means smaller cameras. So I think people go that direction if they can. But mechanical shutters have always offered this, different benefit, but it sounds like a global digital shutter might provide that same benefit.
It has a lot of similar benefits to, even a mechanical shutter actually has some of that artifact to it. You can see that if you have lighting that's not constant in some situations, where if the illumination's flickering at a really high rate, you might only see like bars of illumination across your digital camera as you take an image. And you'll see that in a rolling shutter sensor as well. The global shutter, one of the things that we can do with that is we can synchronize things to external illumination. So not in this situation, but in some of our other cameras that use global shutter sensors, we can synchronize them with strobes so that we're not having to leave the lights on all the time at a constant rate. We can only turn them on when we're actually collecting pixel data. And it saves a lot of power for battery-operated vehicles and things like that.
Yeah.
On that topic of 4K
while we're on
versus
the topic of shutter speeds and
UHD.
sensors and whatnot, I wanted to bring up the capability of slow-mo capture as well for this camera, and maybe Aaron can kind of address some of those details here.
It's one of the things that we haven't quite gotten to where we're testing it, but I'm expecting we'll have the equipment to do that early next year. But this camera system is capable of high frame rate video capture, similar to what, because the underlying camera that we're using in here, the Sony HDC P50, is used a lot in sports broadcasting. You'll see that kind of slow-mo replay type video that's captured a lot in sports videography and other situations. And this camera is capable of doing that high frame rate capture as well. So that's yet another stage in the way that this camera increases resolution in general, and in this case another type of temporal resolution, is we're able to get really, really fine time segments through the video. So I think at 4K this camera can capture at up to 240 frames per second in 4K, so in UHD, sorry. And then in HD it can go up to 480 frames per second, so very, very fast.
Wow.
So it's one of those things that we can tune. We can actually trade off resolution in space for resolution in time in some cases, and get higher temporal resolution and trade that off with spatial resolution.
At those very high frame rates, do you need more light?
Yes, because your exposure period is shorter.
Yeah.
So you do need lots of light.
Yeah. But some of the things we image, like a methane seep that's coming out in very fast bubbles, that high frame rate lets you capture that and quantify rate and number of bubbles where it's difficult capturing 30 frames.
Cool.
And on the whole 4K front, this camera is Ultra HD, UHD, but
there's a few hundred pixels difference there.
Have almost everything that consumers interact with that's 4K is actually UHD.
Yeah, any TV you get.
Your TVs, your media players, etc., are all UHD. 4K is a format that's mainly used in digital cinema and in projectors. So if you're capturing a feature film, that's
have we
4K or
considered
higher.
Mega Ultra HD?
So
there is 6K, 8K, and 12K.
Super Mega Ultra?
Yeah.
It's actually not uncommon to see digital cinema shot in 6K or 8K. But oftentimes I believe that's more so that there's flexibility in post-production in terms of framing and things, more than actually trying to display 6K or 8K video.
Yeah, you stay away from my face with any 6K camera. I don't need that kind of detail.
If you carry that out, you could conceivably get to the point where you have a sensor on set, and that's one point of view, and from that single sensor you can get your close-up, your medium shot, your wide shot, your cutaways.
Wow, yeah.
I've done work where, might have been in HD a little while ago, but we shot people, just stand-ups, but we turned the camera sideways. And then we were able to, in post-production, reframe how we wanted the shot to look, especially for chroma keying them.
Chroma keying being where you take out the background and replace it with something else in post, right?
Yep.
Can you,
like the weather person on the news.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Can you achieve the same effect by using multiple cameras and stitching together the images?
Man, that
In real time, that's tough, but it can be done.
Yeah.
That's not too dissimilar from some of the real-time photogrammetry.
Yeah, or
stereo. Yeah.
Stereo
production.
There's a question.
Louis had a stereo camera they tried for a while, and they were using a teleprompter mirror to get the cameras close enough because they were so big. That was like 2,000 or something.
There's a question here about how much power the camera uses. I was wondering about how it handles cooling when in warmer, shallow waters where the ROV sometimes gets too hot itself.
Yeah, that's a great question. So
lights.
Earlier in the dive, we were talking about just how much work has gone into all of the equipment we have sitting around us. That makes the kind of work that we're doing on this dive accessible. And it actually had me thinking about that very question. The weeks that were spent doing thermal analysis and simulation of not just the exterior of the housing, how water flows over the exterior of the housing to shed heat, but also just the path that air flows through the internal chassis. All that had to be designed specifically to be able to pull the heat away from the components that are converting that electricity into power and that power into heat to do the imaging here. So we actually have in front of me right now a telemetry feed from the camera, and it's sitting at a very comfortable 16.5 degrees Celsius. Once that gets up to about 42 degrees Celsius, we start to see some things start to shut down to protect themselves, but we're going to try and push that a little bit harder. But everything inside the camera is designed to fail safe. So if something overheats or gets too warm, it just shuts down so that it can cool off. It doesn't break anything or fail in any way. And it'll let us know that there's an issue too. There's a red light that'll turn on Ed's panel to let you know that it's overheating. You might want to let it cool off a little bit.
I had to step away for part of that, but one of the challenges in doing deep sea imagery and why it typically lags behind the production market by years, there's many challenges, but one of them is cooling. If you take a very nice production camera from like ARRI or RED, and you use that in a hot climate in air, just on, somewhere on Earth, those cameras can overheat just sitting there recording. And so you put those in a housing with no airflow, and housings are very typically made out of a type of, or one of the forms of titanium, which is has a very poor conductor of temperature. So even in 2 degrees Celsius seawater, that doesn't help to cool that much compared to copper or some other, metal. You certainly want to use copper for a housing, but
yeah, even though we operate in this massive heat sink that is the ocean, getting the heat to the surface of the housing, and because we have to use materials that can withstand the immense pressure that these devices see at these depths. Where are we right now? At about they got it covered up. 4,224 meters. What is that in PSI? I don't have my ruler in front of me.
Hold on, I can do the math.
I've got my deep sea ruler.
No,
it's got a handy dandy lookup.
What's the depth in meters?
4,200.
4,200.
4,200. So is that 43 atmospheres absolute? No, 430 times 14.7. It's not linear, but it's around 6,300.
It's around 6,000 PSI.
At depth, it'll be 8,800 if we get to 6,000 feet. That's per square inch, which is, I just had it 430 bar.
Yeah, so I just looked it up on my handy dandy deep sea ruler, which has a depth to pressure lookup table on it.
Available in the gift shop.
Highly recommend picking one up if you're on board. They're down in the lounge. But yeah, so that's I wish I had better analogies for how to equate that pressure to something that somebody could relate to easily, but you often hear about elephants standing on a postage stamp or something along those lines. How much does an elephant weigh? Like 2,000? No, it's probably more than that. We have ways of figuring these things out, right?
But I think what's interesting about that is that's what the housing feels, but the camera inside is at 1 atmosphere.
Yeah, it's so even this is one of the things that I like to keep in mind when I'm thinking about just the amount of force that's on this housing when it's at depth. But at the design depth for this system, so 10,000 PSI or about 7,000 meters of depth, the circumference, or the diameter rather, of the housing decreases by about 2.5 millimeters. So that's a pretty substantial difference.
Yeah.
You don't really think of this when you see it as something that can bend and flex very much. Yeah. It's very solid feeling, yeah, it's designed to do that. That's what it's supposed to do, yeah, it's just the amount of force that it takes to do that's pretty incredible.
Yeah.
Maybe the next deep sea ruler I make, I'll do it in elephants per postage stamp instead of PSI.
Or 747s. That
there you go, 740.
All right, folks, we're getting close. Coming up on 4,300 meters. Should get to the seafloor before too long. Very exciting.
Have you locked the door yet?
I put up a velvet rope, so people will not go through that.
Do we need a bouncer
then?
then?
Of those here.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm saying about that. So pressure, optics, temperature. So the thermal conductivity rating of titanium is between 6.6 to 21, whatever that unit is, W/m-K.
Watts per meter Kelvin.
Thank you.
Yeah, and aluminum is in like the 40 watts per meter Kelvin range, I believe.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea of just how poor of a thermal conductor titanium is.
The other thing too is given the amount of time of a dive and the fact that we can't run the camera for very long on deck, we can't be recording inside the housing. We would have limited time, and then in between dives, you'd have to open up the housing and recover that and move it.
And glass is even a worse conductor, yeah? That's on the front of the...
It's not glass, is it?
On the front of the camera?
Yeah, front of the housing.
Yeah, it's a borosilicate glass.
Okay.
So the dome is made out of a borosilicate glass. It's 24 millimeters thick, so it's a lot thicker than the housing. So I imagine it's a much more significant thermal insulator than the titanium. The titanium, I believe, is, shouldn't quote me on this, but I think it's about 7 millimeters thick at the main section. Might be a little bit more than that. I don't remember off the top of my head, but it's the number that stands out to me. So that's pretty significant. And when you're talking about the ability of something to conduct heat, it's a function not only of its thermal conductivity, but also the thickness or the distance the heat has to travel through the material. So you can have something that's more thermally conductive but a lot thicker, and it's not going to work as well as something that's really thin but less thermally conductive.
And there's a lot of data, and data is energy, and energy is heat. It's a simplification of...
I don't think I answered that question. What is the power draw of the MXD cam? That was, I think, what led into this discussion about thermal management.
How much power does the camera use?
What is it, around 60 watts, 70 watts? Mikhail would know better than I would.
I think it's around, as a total system, it's around 80 watts.
80 watts?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not insignificant.
Is there a puck in the housing, an optical puck, or do you do all the geometric distortion and chromatic aberration and milling of the dome?
A puck. I'm not familiar with that as a technical term.
Is there a, not a diopter, but a optical correction lens in front of the camera lens?
Yes, there's actually several.
Yeah.
Yeah, so one of the goals that we had in developing the MXD was to have as sharp of an image underwater as the lens produces in air. And in order to do that, you have to adapt this lens system that was designed to work, in a broadcast studio or out at a sports arena to function underwater. We have to put this dome in front of it because that's a very efficient way to be able to withstand the pressure and provide a pristine optical interface to the water. But that shape, that hemispherical dome shape, introduces a lot of distortion into the image. So we quantify that as you'll start to see sharpness fall off in the corners pretty rapidly for something that's not corrected to work underwater. So one of the main projects within development of the MXD was the design of the corrector cell, we call it, and it's a stack of about, it's 4 elements in 3 groups, so it's not just a simple lens. And it sits between the Canon broadcast lens and the dome of the camera, and provides all the correction needed to essentially undo the distortion that was introduced by the dome. We worked with a gentleman named Paul Remian at Fathom Imaging in the development of that. He ran the simulation work to be able to essentially come up with the prescription for that corrector cell. It's very non-trivial, very computationally intensive, lots and lots of iteration. You have to take into account all the manufacturing tolerances of the different lenses, and that gives us information. And we combine all those different tolerance limits in a big analysis that gives us 100 to 1,000 different combinations of error, and we try and figure out where it's most sensitive to change so that we can account for that in the design and assembly process. So that gives us, it's a very, very in-depth, or very, very complicated and lots and lots of detail. I could spend a long time talking about that.
That's not just for the fact that there's a spherical dome, but the light traveling from water into air.
Yep, so anytime you have a difference of refractive index between 2 materials, you're going to have, it's going to affect the way that the light's moving through that media. So light travels faster through materials with a higher refractive index. So water and glass both have a higher refractive index than air. So it bends the light more as it enters the glass, and then it unbends a little bit as it goes into the water because the glass has a higher refractive index than either the air or the water. But it's interesting in that since there's a air to glass and then glass to water interface, you can almost think of the 2 different, because the amount of the light bends through that interface is a function of the ratio of the refractive index. The refractive index of the glass almost ends up, it cancels in some ways. So it's really the air to water interface that drives most of the distortion. So there's still things happening in the glass, and we do account for that and correct for it in the corrector as well. But most of the distortion that we're dealing with in the image is actually from what we call the air to water interface. Because for the ways that it distorts the image plane. We talked about this earlier in the dive, how the lens is kind of a projector projecting the picture onto the sensor. And the sensor is a flat 2D plane, but the dome creates a spherical projection, so it's not a flat projection anymore. And one of the things the corrector does is it re-flattens that out so that we get nice sharp image across the corners of the sensor. But So there's a lot of other factors that go into this as well, from not just the refractive index, but also the different kinds of glass, bend the light in different ways. So yeah, like I said, a lot of math and a lot of simulation work goes into figuring out how to construct a lens cell to back out all that.
Is it pretty well decided about which type of glass would be the best glass for that kind of camera setup, or did you have to do different testing to decide the type of glass mix?
So the design of the corrector cell is something that has many, many, many variables. One of the things we take into account when we're setting, we actually use something that's akin to a genetic algorithm for simulating a bunch of different solutions and figuring out which ones work best against a set of criteria that we select for that we want to optimize the system, optimize the optical prescription for. So this might be the distortion, something we call spot size, which is kind of a measure of how much the light spreads between going through the optics and hitting the sensor. So by setting up all these different constraints, one of the things that we can have the genetic algorithms vary is actually the glass types that are used for each of the elements in the lens stack. So we didn't pick specific glass types necessarily. We might have excluded some that were either very expensive, very fragile, not a good match for either the mechanical or thermal environment. Some types of glass are very kind of brittle, so you don't want to work with them in something that's going to be in a high vibration type of environment. We also wanted to pick glass types that all have similar thermal coefficients of expansion. This helps maintain the integrity of the prescription as the temperature changes. So the glass all expands and contracts at the same rate. So there's a lot of elements like this that go into selecting that, but you can run simulations all day long, and actually all day long is a poor characterization. I think some of these setups will take an entire week to run before you see the results and know if you actually have anything that's workable. But at some point, somebody has to sit down and say, okay, I think this is going to be the best combination of materials, tolerances on the manufacturing side, and the results, and then we go for it. It's just a small matter of getting these massive 6-7 inch diameter lenses made to the level of precision we need here. It's its own challenge.
You chose to not use pure sapphire.
We didn't use pure sapphire here. No, we do use sapphire though.
I know,
quite
it's
a bit.
good material.
Yeah, it's very very high modulus, so it's very strong.
Yeah.
Doesn't bend very much.
Just so people are aware, we're about 15 meters off bottom at the moment, so we should be coming on the seafloor pretty soon.
Yeah. We have a question from one of the viewers asking, was this seafloor feature multi-beam mapped prior to diving with this ROV?
It was, but prior to even us getting out here. This is something that's been mapped for a while, and we kind of made the selection to dive at this site before we even got out here. And
We are
there's
on
the
bottom.
seafloor.
We see it.
This is what we've been waiting for the last several hours.
Yeah.
And folks online, we will be doing a little bit of setting up and testing here before we get underway, so you'll get to know this spot of seafloor very well.
So someone else has asked, given optimal conditions, how long would you explore the bottom and what size of a plot? That's Karen from North Carolina.
And what size of a what?
How long would you explore the bottom and what size of a plot if
jumping off SPL.
conditions were optimal?
Yeah, so we would probably stay down for 24 hours, and we would try and get 4 to 7 kilometers across the seafloor is about what we would aim for, or I think what's set up for this dive. All right. Oh my goodness, you see what's down there? We got some nodules, maybe a bit of crust. There's some
Oh,
worm
yeah.
casing or like fecal matter there. Oh yeah, we got seafloor.
Yep, and we have
Oh,
30
and
minutes left of our watch, so we can...
Asako is in the science chat. She's my absolute favorite. She helps me so
Yeah.
much. Hi, Asako. So looking online, you can now get the sense of what the two video feeds are showing you. One is Little Hercules looking at the seafloor. The other is Atalanta looking down on Little Hercules.
Someone also asked whether the Little Herc can carry the Norbit sonar or if it's too big for it.
It can carry the Norbit sonar, but we have not integrated it into the vehicle.
Okay. Got a long comment here from somebody saying this is not a question, but for the 6 years listening to these dives, the perfect mundane comedy that comes out of y'all in the control van gets me giggling and warms my heart every time. Thank you for the slow, comfortable comedy and wholesome connection that flows into earnest descriptions of the technical and specialist things. The work of these expeditions is a full-bodied passion of mine, but the connections and human moments you share with us around the world make this blue exploration feel heartful and hopeful.
Oh,
That's so
that's
sweet.
so
That's
nice.
so nice.
6 years means 2019, so that's probably April.
Yeah,
Or maybe...
I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm getting to
You
know
got it
these
down.
people. I hope it was April, otherwise there's also someone else out there.
Yeah, so right now the camera zoomed way out, so we're getting a little bit of a view of the frame of Little Herc. But I can see a Holothurian over there, a little sea cucumber, and then
Where is it?
In the top right corner, maybe?
it's a little far away to fully identify, but
Ah, yeah.
Somebody's asked how deep we are now. We are at 4,550 meters.
yeah,
another one.
Another one. I saw a little thing float by, but it was right at the bottom.
Ooh, there's something.
Yeah, that's a polychaete.
Okay.
Look, we got our first polychaete.
All right.
Cool.
Ooh, that would be cool to get in slow motion. We're gonna have to do a zoom, but I think there's a little stalk sponge that's just off the top of the screen. Yeah.
Someone has said it's so clear. So that's that new camera.
Yeah. Yeah, you can see a bunch of these little stalk sponges. Yep.
Wow.
Hey, back
That's
row.
the stuff.
Just letting you know, because I know Dave's not
Oh,
on
maybe that's
SBL
not
or
a
talking.
sponge.
we're just gonna take a few minutes and kind of orient and do a couple of our checks on the bottom, and then we'll go back on SBL and
Sounds good.
get your guys' stuff.
Roger.
Thanks, Rye.
Is that our little white balance card there? Are we doing that?
So somebody's asked, what causes that patterning on the substrate? It looks almost like an orange peel pattern.
Huh. I'm not sure which thing they're talking about, but what we're kind of looking at, I suspect, a little tough to interpret right now, is area of manganese nodules, so small kind of hydrogenetically accreted balls of manganese sitting in a matrix of slightly orange sediment, but they're kind of irregular shaped. Ooh, maybe I'll do a geo observation. They're not all perfectly cylindrical. There's some that are irregular in shape and pretty complete coverage. Let me do irregular. Yes. I logged.
Nancy
I haven't,
and,
yeah, and I haven't, you can see my white balance is off.
Nancy and Escondido
It's the
said,
center
amazing,
square
so
here,
clear.
and
Do you
it's
have a
to
name
the
for the
left.
new camera?
So let me hit white
I
balance and
think
see
we
what I
talked
get.
about it, and
It's
it
the,
was just MXD.
starting at now,
MXD
that
to
might take the
represent
camera black, but I
MBARI
don't know if this one
and
does
deep
or
sea
not.
power
3,
and
2, 1,
light
go.
working together.
Mm-hmm.
And it does.
What we
Let's see,
don't
let's
have
think
yet
about
for
it.
it is a dance.
I don't think it's happy with our
You can
setup.
choreograph
like
that for us later,
an
Adam.
Yeah, it's just
MXD.
I could try black balance though. Let me stop that. Black balance. This will probably take the camera dark. Don't
Someone's
know.
asked, do we know what
It's
the water
intentional, starting
temperature
out.
is down here?
We absolutely do,
All right, so black's
but
better.
I'm going to have to look for it.
And let me ring one thing real
I
quick.
think the temp I see on
Hey,
the
Dave, you
Little
down there?
Herc screen is for the something in the bottle.
Yep.
That doesn't look like seafloor temp.
No, he'll want to play with it, but
Stand by.
I'm full wide. Let's go ahead and do a tilt up and just see what this looks like. Pilot. You can tilt up and see what the scene looks like and see if we're even close.
We will get you some information on the temperature before
It's out.
too long.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
So if you can just hold
Nice size.
there, pilot.
Yeah, we'll
let
get
me
them
just do a
to
quick
turn the lasers on
push
at some
here
point
and see
to
what I see.
get a sense of size.
I mean,
I think it's like on its
I'm
way
pretty
to
happy with
crust.
that for
Yeah,
straight
I
up
wonder
and
if
down.
those are little Ophiuroids, little
Let's
brittle
crank that up
stars.
so we can actually do something, push it further out.
Wow.
I think the temp is about 1.3 degrees.
Oh, wow.
That's us. Yep.
I was wrong
What'd you have for
earlier. It wasn't
breakfast?
April from Tennessee. It was Andra, who
Yeah.
has been floating along with the Nautilus through the years.
Nice.
I always suggest that we should put a embossed
So
logo
far,
on the bottom of
we're
the
kind of the
ROV, so
lucky
when we
watch.
take off,
Just gotten to see the seafloor twice.
no, a QR code. All right, let's see if I can get to our thruster wash is pushing that away. So, okay, well that gives me some information, and I can...
Somebody's asked for, they said, I haven't caught a Little Herc stream. What are the differences in capabilities and goals between big and Little Herc?
Okay.
The main difference is Little Herc does not have the sampling capability of Big Herc. So no manipulators, no water bottles. So we're focusing entirely on visual observations and environmental sensing on these dives.
And we're going deeper.
And we're going deeper.
Yep, and they've also asked, what is the deepest the ROV has ever been in the water?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. Don't know. I imagine it's been tested to its limits, around 6,000.
Yeah, I don't know either.
We have a suggestion for a temporary camera name since it's so close to Halloween. How about Peekaboo?
Oh, spooky.
Can't hide from these eyes.
There is just indescribable difference in resolution between this and any other underwater camera I've worked with. Just right at it.
Actually, it sounded like you guys described it for about half an hour a few minutes ago.
I've been told I talk too much.
It is fantastic.
I had to turn our microphones off over here for a little while because like Mikhail and I were squealing with glee.
So we set a new depth record for the MXD family of cameras.
Yeah.
Indeed we have.
Someone's asked a question. They must have joined just recently. They're just asking if the Little Herc has the measurement lasers. It does. We had them turned on a little while ago to showcase, and I guess they'll come back on a little bit later as well.
Yeah, once we get the vehicle all set and settled, we can get those on.
April is still watching as well, so she's also been watching since about 2019 and loves how much she learns from all the incredibly talented and diverse teams.
And Adam.
And this research cruise is so good for my morale. When I leave, I'm just going to go back to nobody being like thankful for...
You're just going to be walking down the street answering questions.
You're going to be hooked now. You're going to be back on Nautilus Live.
I hope so.
You go to the coffee shop and you're like, funny you ask. This vehicle actually can go to 6,000 meters.
Yeah.
There are measurement lasers, in case you didn't know.
What's the coolest thing I've seen?
Everything.
Yeah, your daughter's going to be like, what's for dinner tonight? Well, actually, dinner was invented.
SCF or data video?
Looks like a track or something.
Can you please log a number 5 video highlight for me just to test workflow? Thank you. And you can just call it highlight test. There you go. It's a test for Jacob, but that'll work. I do not know. That's why I was suggesting a 5.
Ooh, you can see feeding tracks of holothurians, those darker streaks through there. Holothurians going and scooping up sediment and chewing it up and then pooping out those little piles we see.
What are those little piles called?
There's probably a technical term for them. Fecal tubes.
Nancy in Escondido is back and has asked, how long will you stay on the seafloor today?
Escondido, huh? What a coincidence.
We'd love to know the answer. It depends on many different things, but if everything goes smoothly, we could be down for 24 hours, but never know.
Does that almost look like some sort of track right there that we're seeing in front of the vehicle? What would do something like that on the seafloor?
Someone else has just told us they've been watching since 2012, both the Nautilus and the Okeanos.
Wow.
I was watching since just before that.
Oh, wow.
But not every dive, just occasional.
Had you been on at that time, or?
No, I started watching Nautilus live when I was in high school.
Oh, wow. And look at you now. That's so cool.
I dreamt of coming out and got an internship and then started growing up on the ship just like Rennie.
Love that.
There's another, whatchamacallit?
Polychaete.
Polychaete.
A fecal tube pile.
Polychaete.
And these little bare patches are probably a burrowing organism that has moved a bunch of sediment up. I wonder if it's covering nodules or if it's pushed them out of the way.
What?
Someone else has been watching Okeanos since 2014, Nautilus since 2016, and Schmidt Ocean since 2019. Some really dedicated people out there. I love it.
I started watching in 1902.
You win.
At that time, it was mostly drawings. Saw some of the first daguerreotypes. That's really cool. People are super dedicated, and honestly, them watching and participating makes this a lot more fun.
Yeah, can you imagine the chat without questions coming in? It'd be 4 hours.
I've been in, definitely. There's lots of ROV dives that happen without this sort of interaction, and it can be a pretty quiet place.
Is that a little, was that a gelatinous organism? Or was
no,
that?
I think it's that same polychaete. It's like, finally a friend.
I'm the chosen one.
We have another suggestion building off the last camera name suggestion. Instead of peekaboo, they've said peek-a-poo.
Oh, yeah, so far that's what it's done.
Yeah. Someone said, I wish I'd found out about Nautilus Live before 2022. Expedition season is my favorite time of year now. And we got a few more that pushed it down. And I have you all on the 75-inch TV whenever no one else has something they want to watch.
Wow.
I think that might be bigger than any TV we have aboard the ship.
Yeah.
I just got to let people know at home that Eva's got her hands on the telestrator. She's drunk with power now, circling things with wild abandon. People don't know that we have this, this in the back row, we have a screen that we can make little marks on, like telestrator, that shows up on the pilot screen. So when we, whoopsie, when we, you know, want to direct the pilots to look at something or zoom on something or sample something, we have a way to communicate that because we're sitting like 5 feet behind all the pilots, and we can talk to them for sure, but can't really show them stuff.
We have a question for you, Adam. Were you also on the ship with Harry Hess when he mapped the first mid-ocean ridges and proposed seafloor spreading?
Don't go back that far.
You said 1902.
Yeah, but I mean, it is pretty remarkable that our conception of what's in the ocean and all this amazing stuff isn't that old. It's like the kind of 50s is when kind of mid-ocean ridges were first recognized, and the 70s were when hydrothermal vents were first discovered, and who knows what will change in 2025 on this expedition.
Yeah.
But the first kind of modern oceanography expedition is probably the Challenger expedition, which I think was in the like 1916 or something. They went all over the ocean, did soundings, did sampling, did dredging,
video.
Used some of the same equipment that we use today, which is pretty cool.
Very cool.
Oh, is that a coral? Oh, we got a coral.
Oh.
It's like a bamboo coral, maybe?
What's up?
Oops, sorry. Yeah, and these are looking like, you know, a little more regular, circular or spherical
That's so cool.
nodules. Coral attached to one of them.
Let's see.
Someone asked, what are the blobs? Are they sponges? I think those might be those little sediment patches where there are no nodules. Are those the blobs?
That's right. Yeah, that's probably the blobs they're looking at are little piles of sediment, probably something living in the sediment that is digging a burrow and pushing the sediment up, maybe on top of the nodules, or maybe even pushing the nodules out of the way.
Oh, there's the coral again.
Love to get a close-up of that.
Yeah.
There's the Polychaete again.
Yeah. Poly the
Polychaete.
Oh, wow, look at the movement. Even at full wide there, you could see some of the fins moving up and down the side of the...
Ooh, we might be able to, like, in post, zoom in on it, yeah? What? Oh, I missed it. What'd you see?
I don't know if it was just sediment or just it was a very interesting shape. There. Does it look like gouged out sediment or something coming up?
Is that where we
looks like
landed
it's coming
earlier?
up.
It could be a dead sponge. A dead stalk sponge. It's a little hard to see. One thing that's kind of cool is no one else on Earth has ever seen this before. We're the first eyes to see it.
Whole 40 seconds before the rest of the world.
Yeah, right.
For those wondering about the reference, I'm told that that's about how long it takes from the video signal leaving the ship for it to reach the TVs and laptop computers and, well, regular computers and cell phones of all the viewers on shore.
Someone has written in and said, I got my PhD in Australia where I worked with several emeritus professors whose experiments helped prove the process of subduction of oceanic plates under continental ones in the 50s and 60s. It is really interesting to think about just how young these ideas are.
Yeah.
Someone else has shared that they've made stickers of the last few Nautilus dives and they plan to continue because it's so fun. So be thinking about what you'd like to see on one.
Ooh.
They have C_fine art. I'm not sure if that's their social media handle or...
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What is that, do you think?
It's a little hard to see, but it could be an urchin. It's got some spiky bits, but it could be a Ophiuroid as well, a little brittle star. I don't think so. They shouldn't be all splayed out like that. Or it could be too far away to see.
Not far away from my eyes.
No. Well, he's got those young eyes. They haven't started to go bad yet. What's your vision? You wear glasses?
2020, baby.
Woo! How many fingers am I holding up? All right, I'm going to do a little handoff.
Okay.
It's watch change over time here in the control van. So there's a little bit of movement as people switch over. And then the new watch will take over. Ooh, what's that?
Have fun, man.
Somebody just joined us and asked us to explain who we each are and what our roles are. As I just mentioned, we're doing a little watch changeover now. So maybe once things settle, the next group on watch will be able to give a little overview of who they are and what they're doing. And we'll be able to answer that question for you. Still sort of testing a couple of things on the ROV, on the Little Herc. So everything's just still trying to get settled. Oh, all right. I'm handing over now to Maddie.
Yeah.
I'll see you all at the next 8 to 12.
We might be looking at a sponge, guys. We've been
Yeah, that's
fortunate
what it
enough
looks
to see a
like.
couple of cool things. We've seen some polychaetes, a coral, and this may be a sponge.
Looks like a sponge to me as
Yeah.
well. It looks pretty pale and it's on a stalk, so
Oh,
I would say sponge. Maybe glass sponge, question mark? We would have to zoom in a little bit
yeah.
maybe to see exactly what.
Okay, I am now logging out, guys. It has been good, and I will see you for the next watch. Ka kite.
Bye, Teru. Thank you so much.
How do I? I'm actually sad. I've got to go. We did all the hard yakka. Now the fun stuff.
Or
you're going to have to plug in over here once, she should sit over here once they're done. So Ryan, can you hear me, everybody? So you can keep me on force talk, the pilot, and the nav typically. And then you should see the SBL one on the far right. You should listen in on there for now. So that's everyone. You're listening to kind of everyone who's on SBL in the room. That's weird. Turn that off again. Maybe Jane will look in that for you. I've never seen that happen before. So with this vehicle, we're gonna really need to stay close together. If we stretch out at all, it'll just get whacked all over the place. Yeah. So I'm gonna probably be a little tighter than I normally would with Herc. Like Herc's a little more forgiving, more mass, doesn't get tugged around as much. So for this, we'll have to just, if you get out too far ahead, it's gonna make everyone feel sick. So I just been kind of backing up. And then what's the direction that we're planning to go? Okay, perfect. So I'm gonna come around and try and get a little more in here before we head that way. I think we're pretty good. Our delta's 13, kind of like that catenary. I think if we get in a spot in general where we start to see the weight, you're too far out front. Like even that big bob, you can't see it. So that means it's not pulling on me. So I think this is kind of where we gotta be. We gotta be close and trying to dial in my Z bias to get it. It's a little finicky, like compared to Herc. Herc, you can just get it like perfect. But here it's because they're your lateral movement as well. It's a little bit touchy. So I've been trying to do that because we're too light. We definitely need to add, which is okay. For the first dive, I was happy enough being too light, but we'll need to adjust that. So right now I'm trying to come down. We're gonna go east. So I'm gonna try and come down here and get more lined up. So we're both kind of facing to the east.
Since you can see the tether from Atalanta, is it worth turning Little Herc's butt plate off?
We could try, yeah. Could see that's the mid one too, though.
I don't know if that's any better.
Try like that. So I'm gonna try and lateral over if I can. But see, when you lateral, you go down. So that's gonna be fun. Once I come around, typically what I like to do is when you'll hear the navigator call in the ship move and the bearing of the ship, and then you match that. And then Little Herc, that kind of sets this as like a guide, and then you just keep Little Herc in that window. And then you just let Atalanta hold that same ship bearing, and then you just kind of, that gives you your area to play. So I think when you lateral, you need to thrust up at the same time. And that gets it a little smoother. Okay, that's a better. You can see as I move over, Atalanta's also starting to lay back down to the south as well. So I'm kind of just following right now to get set up. That's pretty good there. Like we could start going east in that arrangement. Then I stay ahead, right? But we can't be too far ahead. It's gonna get tuggy. So Ryan, why don't you turn your heading to about 090, so another 10 degrees or so. So you can just click, yep, +10, there you go. Yep, and then you can tilt down a little bit to keep Little Herc more in the middle of the view. You know what I mean? So that thing. So drag that just a little bit, yeah, see what that does. And then you can watch the tilt move. Should be moving in that sled utility. You can see the camera moving, hopefully. Yeah, give it a touch more. Your tilt power is on? Yeah, it is, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. I think we're ready to, if everyone's ready, the back row's ready and all that, I'm sure they're dying, but I think we can put a move in, see how much layback we get.
Yeah.
Back row, you all ready to get moving here?
Yeah, looks like we're good.
All right. If no objections, thinking we'd call in a move 083, about 100 meters. See how we get on with layback and how the vehicles are moving.
Yeah, if we get those lasers on, please.
Number's totally wrong. This altitude. But it's also not, I'm not 13 meters off the seafloor. I'm like right on the seafloor. I'm like a meter off. No, that's Little Herc. Oh, sorry. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Oh, boy.
All right. What's up, 12 to 4?
Hey.
How we doing?
Very excited. Very cool. What could you?
This looks like a large amphipod.
What?
The swimmer.
Back row, quick reminder, as we get moving here, do have a lot of cable outs. If you see something you are interested in, our brakes are going to be really slow. Keep that in mind if you want to stop and go back and look at something.
That's okay, let's just work to what the ROV can do well. And if we could get the lasers on, please.
All right, well, everyone, if you're just joining us, welcome. This is the 12 to 4 watch. We are just still getting settled here after our watch change. So we'll give a round of introductions here once our team is all settled into place. But if you're just joining us, we are north of Aitutaki Island. We are diving in the Cook Islands near a knoll complex. There's never been a dive here before. We're the first eyes to see the seafloor, and as someone put in our chat, we will probably be among the last. So as you have questions that come up, feel free to drop them in the chat. I'm going to let the team get all situated here before we start asking away, but thanks so much for joining us.
Jaina, are you on there? Can we get sonar screen up, the Consberg sonar computer up on where the, I'm like, I look up and I'm like, that is not what I was expecting to see. I'm like, there's an ROV down there. Can you make a note, Ryan, in the log there that we need to rotate the laser mount as you face it clockwise?
Okay.
Is that right? So you see how the ship started?
Oh.
Right click will do that.
We're just sitting there. It's going to be a little bit.
Josh, I'm just making notes here, looking for the comp percentage. Okay. Where?
On which vehicle? On Atalanta.
Atalanta, yeah.
So that would be these on the sled utility. So the comp, you're looking at, well, you could turn your light on. Can't really see it very well. Might blow it out. We'll see. Should be a utility light or something like that.
Okay, just looking for it.
Or maybe not. Which lights do we got on there? Yeah, turn, what's that one just above your mouse there?
Oh, I see.
What does that
Spare?
say?
That's a spare.
Oh.
Try that.
I don't think it's going to, you could try it. I don't think it's going to do anything. No.
Yeah, it may be hard to see without a little bit of a zoom going on.
Bud light, lower, starboard. Oh, starboard, upper. There, it's a little better. So you can see the comp. You see the white kind of stick on the far right hand of the screen?
Yeah.
There's like that black cylinder with a white column going on the center.
Yeah.
That's the volume of that comp. So the white part is the oil volume, and then the part underneath it, there's like that dashed yellow line. So that yellow line is about 3/4 full. So I would say it's 50%.
Okay.
And so really all we're keeping an eye on is that an hour from now, is it still 50% or is it changed?
Right.
Yay. Got sonars.
You're right. Josh, the very gentle slope should be off about 10 o'clock for you at the moment.
10 o'clock, okay.
And we've moved coming up on 50 meters at this point. Doesn't look like Atalanta's feeling it yet.
Okay. This is like very falcony, super like delicate minor inputs. Like if if you really try and drive around, you're just going to be all over the place.
Looks like Atalanta felt that. Nope, just a weird thing.
Like I'm like almost 50% on my joy gain. Auto altitude's not bad.
All right.
Say it again.
That applies to all your thrusters.
How we feeling? Watch lead John. Should we open up the chat? Yeah, okay. Well, hey everyone, again, thanks for joining. My name is Madison. I'm the communications lead here aboard the 12 to 4 watch. So we just got down to the seafloor maybe about 30 minutes ago. We're exploring on a knoll complex, and this is really exciting. We haven't yet seen the seafloor on this expedition. We've been weathered out for a little while. So I'd love to toss it around for a round of introductions. Front row, if you're busy, feel free to opt out. But Mikhail, how do you feel? You're on my left. Who are you? What are you doing here? Are you on SPL? Maybe I'll go to John. John, who are you and what are you doing here?
Yeah, good day everybody. I'm John Parianos. I'm working with the Seabed Minerals Authority here in the Cook Islands, and my background's marine geology. But these days, if you go to sea, you've got to be a jack of all trades. So we might dip in and out of different subjects. We've put the ROV down at the base of a knoll. We're part of a knoll complex in the middle of what's called the 16159 area, which is named after the nearest degrees of latitude and longitude. And in this area here, it's not renowned for having lots of nodules, but we've come across a small field of nodules, very high abundance. At the base of the knoll we're hoping to climb shortly. We've got a few operational issues. The team are basically running the ROV one thruster down, which it's a bit like riding a bicycle for the first time with only one hand on the handlebars, and it's going to take a while to get used to it. But hopefully they'll get it under control, and so far they're doing a great job really. And we're going to try and climb up that knoll that we're coming to shortly.
Climb up that knoll reminds me of that song. What is it?
Running up that hill?
Yeah.
Kate Bush. It's a great song.
We were climbing up that knoll. Cool. Thanks for that intro, John. Mikhail, now I see you. Who are you and what are you doing here?
Hey, I'm Mikhail Rostoshansky. I'm here with Deep Sea Power and Light. I'm a electrical design engineer. And what we're doing here is basically testing our MXD CCAM camera imaging platform that you see in front of you. So yeah, we're really excited to see what kind of imagery we can get out of it. This is the deepest it's ever been at 4.5 kilometers. So yeah, we're just here, along for the ride, kind of babysit the camera, make sure everything's looking good, all the telemetry is online, and yeah, have any questions answered from the video guys.
That is.
Oh, interesting. What did you just circle there, John?
I'm not sure. Looks like a dark, either it's a strange rock or it's a dark kind of fauna.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's see if they can bring that across into view. Yeah, they're giving
Looks
it a
pretty
go.
interesting.
It might be one of those mysterious fauna looking like rocks we find on the seabed sometimes.
Hey, Jana, should we try zooming in, please? Just talking to video.
A lot of the life on the seabed's
Wow,
white color.
Ask
Yeah.
for zoom from video, so they'll zoom in for you.
Yeah.
And you just try and keep it in frame.
Wow.
That is awesome. Look at the quality on that. Yeah, no, that's definitely what we'd call a rock.
Okay,
Do you know what species that rock is?
So
it could be a large nodule. It is coated in manganese, and you might have noticed the little tendrils hanging off it. A lot of those would be xenophyrophores. Yeah, sometimes you get big chunks of pumice that sink down as well, and then they'll get a coating of manganese on them.
I see, I see.
Because it is different to the other nodules in the area.
Can you explain exactly what nodules are and what we're looking at here?
Yeah, so nodules are a kind of, we call them a concretionary sedimentary rock. So there's three kinds of rocks in the world, as probably most people know, which are igneous, sedimentary, and metamorphic rocks. And so the most famous sedimentary rocks are sandstones and limestones and things, but you get chemical sediments as well. And nodules are a kind of chemical sediment, which basically they accrete onto something and slowly grow bit by bit. Sometimes
they're going to want to look at that.
There's a crust formed, but if there's some movement in the material, you can get a nodule.
This little sponge or whatever.
So, yeah.
For those of you who are sailing for the first time on Nautilus, we have a game, and it's called, is that an eel or an eel-like fish?
Oh, there you go. There's a nice glass sponge coming up. Look at that.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Yeah. Dead ahead, please, ROV team.
Roger that. Stay ahead of the game a little bit there.
And now we have a new game. It's called Rock or Fauna. And in this case, sponge, rock or fauna.
Rock, fauna, sponge.
So in this
like
case,
rock,
I
paper,
try
scissors.
to go a little faster towards it and give myself a little time.
I'm here for it.
Right? Get ahead.
Oh, there's a small coral there on the left-hand
So
side.
Ryan, you can adjust your heading any time to keep
No need to
in the
move the
center.
ROV. It's just for identification.
Okay, we'll get a little closer, Jana, and then get some light on it. Okay, we can zoom in, please.
Oh, how pretty.
Wow, that zoom control is sweet.
I know you said it looks like a lollipop earlier, John.
That's a different one.
It is? Okay,
Yeah,
because I was going to say it looks kind of like a tulip.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
how it
Josh,
like
you
a
want me to
tulip,
come
yeah.
around a little more?
It looks like there's something there on the bottom of the
Yeah, a lot of
ovoid
species,
body,
a lot of species will perch on the stem to try and take advantage. There's a slight benefit of being a bit high in terms of getting food. So height is a strategy they often use, and you can see there's a series of small fauna that have clipped themselves onto that.
Wow.
There you go. That's great.
Wow. And that's definitely a glass sponge.
Okay, well, come wide, please.
So that tissue is made of
I kind of got
silica.
behind there now.
Yep.
Very
now
pretty,
I can,
very pale.
And then let's put your
The
heading
water
back
down
to
here is quite acidic
090.
due to the pressure on the carbon dioxide in the water. So silica-based life has a
And then
slight,
start to
significant
move
advantage
back,
over
like
calcium-based
back
life.
into
You
this,
get both
over in
kinds,
that
but
position in front.
yeah, things like those glass sponges do comparatively well. But as you can see, it's not exactly a forest
the
of them down
autos
here.
are super
Oh,
helpful.
right.
There's another little amphipod.
Oh,
It's
little
going to be a lot of
swimmer.
free flying. I think it's just dialing in your Z-bias as best you can, and then get your joy gain where you want it to be, and then
Fish
you're
down
just going to have to fly.
So Sandy, speaking of folks who are
feels like
sailing for
anyway.
the first time on
We can try.
Nautilus, do you want to give a quick introduction to
Yeah,
who you are in
sure.
our 12 to 4 watch?
Yeah, I'm Sandy, Sandra Little. I'm working as a data logger here on this shift, and I went to school for marine biology in West Florida. University of South Florida is the school. But yeah, this is my first time aboard the Nautilus, and first time really seeing the seafloor in this amount of detail with this wonderful, beautiful camera. So, I don't know, having a great time so far. Very excited to be here with all of you guys. Thanks for listening in, for those of you online.
And you are such a trooper. So the 12 to 4 watch can be a little bit challenging, right? It's midnight to 4 a.m. and then noon to 4 p.m. Sandy, even when we weren't diving, was still holding watch. So that is so impressive. Nice work.
Thanks. Thanks,
Now I'm
Maddie.
back in a spot
I think we
wanna
need a
be, and then
motto
I
for
can
our
kinda
watch.
slow down again.
I think it should be sleep is for the weak.
It's kind of a combination.
And then the
of
tagline
nap
is,
and what you're actually
what was
doing.
it? Rock fauna
More
sponge?
Yeah,
radioactive
rock
power,
fauna
and then
sponge.
Sleep is
let's
for
kinda
the
look
weak.
at the relative
Rock
position
sponge.
in
I can't even say it. Rock
which
fauna
is, this
sponge.
isn't
Rock
the
fauna
USBL. There's
sponge.
Speaking of
there's no
sleep.
DBL in there.
Running up that
It's pretty
knoll.
Running up that knoll.
good
Wow, we are
4,500
crushing
meters.
it. Nice
Yeah,
work.
at the end of this shift, we're gonna have a whole song. we're gonna do a little dance routine with it.
Yeah, like a medley, huh?
A little bit more Z bias down.
And it looks like we got a possible ID on that glass sponge back there, Hyalonema. And I would say I absolutely agree with you, Amanda. So that would be these genus there.
And you can see the casts every now and then. Those really wriggly ones are usually out of a Holothurian. And of course the black tracks, slightly darker black tracks you see sometimes. They're not your imagination. That's usually where a Holothurian has fairly recently grazed sediment off the seabed before making those casts that look like a little pile of spaghetti.
Hey, that's evidence of life.
Yeah, yeah. Hopefully we'll come across a Holothurian or two during the dive.
John,
I'm sure we will.
Do you know, are there certain like indicator species or species that are associated with these areas, these nodules that we're exploring?
Not specifically.
Like
if
that,
I find this species, I find nodules. The life that you get down here will cling to any kind of hard substrate.
So
and
this is kind of a good
no
speed.
one's really, but
You
it's
know,
something worth looking into,
slope.
actually. I know on land there are certain types of plants associated with certain metal deposits. And it's an interesting question because the nodules reflect the chemistry of the water in which they're formed. And that's the same chemistry that the life grows up in. So maybe one day someone will work out a way to try and pattern match them. There are other kinds of seabed minerals as well. So for example, rare earth rich muds and also a thing called polymetallic sulfides. It's an intriguing idea is to go and have a look at this kind of fauna to see if you can vector in maybe on some of these metal producing systems.
These nodules look nicely spherical.
They come in a range of forms, yeah. The ones in the Cook Islands, we have some really spherical ones, but you're not looking at that type here. Some of these are fairly round, I guess, but you can see there's a lot of them look pretty flattened, which is not that common here. That might be just a reflection of the kind of sediment. The thickness of the sediment. There's a really nice big amphipod, and yeah, we're coming up on something else here. Hope Amanda's still online.
Yeah, I know. She's pretty good with those ideas. Could be another glass sponge.
Yeah, it looks different, doesn't it?
But different shape, very flat.
No, I think we're all right.
More like a platter sponge,
Exactly.
less like a
Yeah.
tulip sponge.
Right. I wonder if we could get a little closer onto that.
I think they're trying.
Let's do.
Yeah, they're doing a great job.
Okay, we'll do a quick zoom in, please, Jana.
Wow.
Oh, I'm getting a suggestion.
Wow, this is some incredible detail we're able to see.
Shout out Jana and the video seed.
Yeah, thanks, Jana.
Now I gotta catch up because I'm a little bit behind. So you can use your, Ryan, you can use your tilt, right? It's always an advantage. You can try and tilt. I don't know where you can tilt. Oh, is that all the way down, basically, that you're at right now?
Just about.
Okay.
Yeah, some of these.
I'll get on front again here real quick.
Tinea are looking a bit the same kind of morphology. Must admit, I'm not an expert in this. Yeah, I think we'll put that one down as a sponge as well. Some of them are kind of ground hugging like that. With a question mark, maybe.
Okay, somebody has sent us our rules for rock fauna sponge.
Have they?
Okay, this is brilliant. Sponge covers rock. Rock crushes fauna. Fauna eats sponge. So then our rock is a fist, the sponge is flat, and then a fauna is like pinching fingers.
Okay, I like that. Ooh, look at that. We have another stalked organism, possibly
so
another type of sponge.
I'm gonna have to pass this one real quick. And,
No
we'll find another one. Just trying to get back into a better position so I can take time to zoom. So essentially what happens, what I'm trying to do is stay ahead of Atalanta a little bit, but not too far that I'm getting tugged. And then when we see something, I can zoom in, stop, and then get a shot. And then Atalanta catches up to Little Herc, but at that point I have to then get back ahead. So I sort of have to zoom ahead a little bit.
No worries.
And that's our kind of, now we're back in a better position where I'm a little bit further ahead. So put your heading back to 090. So click on the 10 degree plus till that yellow ball goes back to 090. Okay. So yeah, so you can hold that kind of heading. Okay. And then you can use your tilt of the camera to try and keep the ROV sort of mid-screenish. Jane, I have a question for you. The labeling on the video, can you have individual control over that, or are they all on, all off? Okay. Okay. The reason I'm asking is just because the ROV down obscures the gauge that I want to look at. And, but I can see it good enough right now, but I was just curious about that. I think we can leave it for now, but just makes it a little harder to read that gauge.
Sorry, I don't know why I couldn't hear you guys for a second. What was that? Yeah, we're using high CRI, so very high color accuracy, daylight white LEDs here. I think we have a set of, I think 6 on the vehicle, or 7. The position of which I think we will be adjusting after this dive. It's kind of a, an incremental kind of adjustment. You gotta go down and see what the lighting looks like and make sure you don't have any like hot spots throughout the scene. But yeah, we're using some really nice LEDs right here.
Look at that organism coming up front. Looks possibly like some sort of coral. Branching out from the center. Maybe if we get closer we can tell.
Yeah, Tim should sit over here and we can plug in. Hey, Ryan.
Yes.
Can you come up on the winch about 3 meters?
Could be crinoid.
Okay, let's
Looks a bit like the basket star we picked up before.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, you called it. We were going to see a white lone basket star on the bottom of the seafloor.
The one we got was called Freya, or Freya, I think it is.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's sitting on that nodule.
Ah, you can even see
filter feeding.
Yeah, the individual little.
I see a note here.
Should take a photo of that for TJ back at home.
Oh yeah.
Just 1 sec.
A bit slow.
Okay, well, come by, please. Say it again, Ryan.
I see a note here from Ryan to take out the rapids.
Oh,
That's all right, we can keep going, ROV
oh,
team.
on the 6-8?
Yeah.
Yeah, not, don't worry about that for now.
Okay.
Okay, I gotta kind of move ahead here a little bit quickly, and I'll get back in ahead of Atalanta. So you can, yeah, stay in that 090.
So you're
Uprising good
Uda's
sea
here.
star.
And then you
Amanda
can talk.
coming in with all these IDs. Thank you.
There.
Brisingen, Seed Star, cool.
Rising.
And then you should
Rising
probably
Gen,
listen
yeah.
in. You can also, that's,
Not
so
exactly
that's,
sure how to
that's
pronounce
everyone
it, but
talking.
We did
And
have
then-
a viewer who just said, is that not Brisingen? If you could send
When
in
you're
the
piloting, you
pronunciation
should
as
be
well.
talking on it too. Because people wanna hear what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
we have a couple of questions coming in. So somebody wants to know, why aren't we using Hercules? Hercules is, of course, our main ROV. We are diving at
The
deeper
gray
depths
box on
than
my
ROV
tilt isn't
Hercules
following
can
the,
typically go to.
Try power cycling.
Okay.
So Hercules has a max depth capacity of 4,000 meters. Little Hercules has 6,000 meters. So I think, what are we at right now? We are at 4,500.
Almost 50 meters.
Yeah, so beyond normal Hercules depth capacity. Little Hercules also does not have any sampling technologies on the vehicle. So the primary function is to get eyes on the seafloor. We are just scoping the scene here.
So Ryan, I want you to keep your delta depth, so that's this number.
Yep.
When you keep that roughly 14 to 15.
Okay.
So
Yeah,
if you want to make that number higher, you have to come up. And then you can watch your
We're
winch.
still at quite high.
Watch the winch while you're
concentration of
running
nodules
it,
there on
so
the
you see
floor.
it's turning, and then you'll get an idea for the speed. And then also you want to look for wraps and make sure it's wrapping properly. And then you can kind of glance back and forth
The
to get
Cooks
your
is
number right.
famous for a reason, for
So you're
nodules.
kind of watching the winch
Oh,
and your
look at
number
that. What was
at
that?
the same time, as best you can.
You see that really clear thing we turned over?
Oh, look
come
there
up.
on the
So
left.
come up.
Looks
Yeah,
like
that way.
a
There you go.
coral,
Mm.
some sort.
And there, you see at the
And
top
you
of the
can
screen on the
go-
left-hand
you can
side,
kind of, like,
in the
run up
distance.
pretty fast, so let go for 1 sec. So you can just
Oh,
go
I
like,
see that too, yeah.
and watch look at the winch.
Yep.
So you can run about that speed.
Okay.
Pull it up till you get your spot. Oh, now we got our tether underneath. I'm gonna try and get ahead a little bit here. So I want to keep coming up. Our tether on the wrong side of the vehicle here. I'm gonna try and drive ahead. Come down. There we go. Oh, no, not quite. Shoot. Okay, stop coming up.
Oh, what was that?
I think those are the swells.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Like a bit of a bungee cord.
So we just got the tether on the wrong side of the vehicle. Just, yeah, don't do anything quite yet.
Okay. I'm not sure that the tilt is working.
Okay. I'm not worried about that right now. Shoot. Sorry, we got the tether on the wrong side of Atalanta here. So I gotta correct this before we go down to the seafloor.
All good, you guys are doing great.